up as well. I remember during Joshua Ruiz, the second fight, the rematch, it was held in, I think it was in Qatar or Saudi Arabia. I'm not sure,
Saudi
somewhere,
Arabia, yeah,
Saudi Arabia,
just
right.
outside Riyadh, Saudi Arabia.
And you've put out an article basically criticizing the whole idea behind, going to Middle East and organizing a fight there. I was just wondering if you'd be able to elaborate on that and share your opinions on that as well here again.
Well, I understand that for Eddie Hearn and for Anthony Joshua and Andy Ruiz Jr. and their entire teams, this was a business decision. It made them a lot of money. I completely understand that. We've all heard that rationalization many times. I think sometimes, though, you really need to think very carefully about what you stand for and what your principles are. Just as I would not represent or work with somebody like a Billy Joe Saunders or an Adrian Broner. I just wouldn't do it. I would not take a fight like that to a regime known for its abuse of its citizens, particularly its women, particularly its LGBT community. Essentially, if you aren't male and Muslim, you've got a very, very hard life in Saudi Arabia. And for an American, a Mexican American fighter to participate, boy, that's rough for me. And it was very rough for me then to see American journalists choose to participate in this fight, because then we do have a choice. Do we cover it? Do we travel there? Eddie Hearn was asked about this, made assurances that everyone would be treated well, assured their safety. Well, that's nice because he bought his way in, right? And the Saudis are very eager to sports wash their political and human rights record by inviting big sports competitions. They've done this with Formula One racing and tennis and a few other things. And they want us to forget their record. And this also happened to be right in the midst of the absolutely horrific murder of Jamal Khashoggi. Not on Saudi soil, but, well, technically it was on Saudi soil. It was at the Saudi embassy in Turkey. For an American journalist, in the midst of that absolutely horrific scandal, to then agree to go cover the fight, I had a problem with that. And certainly I had a problem as a woman going to that country. I thank you very much, Eddie, but I don't think you're going to follow me around all the time to make sure I'm okay. If you encase us all in your little bubble and we get in and out, well, that's fine. And I did have colleagues who went, both male and female, a few. I chose not to participate in that. Did I cover the fight as a sporting event from back home? Yes. But I made it very clear through the rest of my coverage where I was, that I was not there, and that I had issues with any legitimate journalist not backing off and making sure that no matter what we were saying about the athletic competition itself, we put it into the context of the Saudis are working very hard to scrub their record clean, and there's a lot of questions they haven't answered about how they behave, and no amount of exciting athletic competition is going to make anybody forget what's going on over there and insist they be called to account. And a lot of sports journalists say, that's not our job to be culture police. Yes, for politicians and others to handle. I think as human beings, that's still our role in telling the story, to tell the whole story, not just the sporting competition, but the whole context of where it's taking place.